To take it forward, we have joining us on this broadcast live from London, Mr. Andrew Whitehead, writer and former senior journalist with the BBC, and from India's capital, New Delhi, we have Lord Meghnad Desai, author and professor emeritus at the London School of Economics. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Lord Meghnad Desai, let me quickly begin with a question to you. Will BJP retain its stronghold in the Hindi heartland? That's the big question emerging from this phase of the elections.
I think so, because for an incumbent to be thrown out, you require a much bigger turnout than what we have. You know, across across the Hindi heartland, the turnout has been fairly tepid, more or less like it was last time. No great surge one way or another. Except in West Bengal, there is no surge. And look at Bihar. Bihar has got a very low turnout. And even Madhya Pradesh hasn't got a very exciting turnout. I think this election is going to turn on fairly small margins of victory, because in the state elections, BJP had a very similar vote share to Congress in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, but the seats share was very different. You could reverse the thing and say, yes, with very similar vote share, you could have BJP coming back, because BJP is trusted more as a central government. Modi is trusted more. And that's, I think, what might happen.
Right. Mr. Andrew Whitehead, you know, we've been discussing this as a topic here today on the show, and that is the rural-urban divide. And you're seeing a high-profile contest in urban India, in Mumbai, happening side by side, the Hindi heartland contest. How are you viewing this phase 4 of the elections, keeping in mind the kind of polling percentage that we've seen?
Well, we're now seeing contests in areas where basically it's the Congress and the BJP head-to-head. Places like, not so much Maharashtra, but Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, where voting has started today. States where Congress did particularly well in the state elections at the end of last year. And as you've said, state elections a few months before general elections tend to be a fairly accurate predictor. So it's likely that BJP will not win a sweep in Rajasthan or Madhya Pradesh. It's facing a much more formidable challenge, as Lord Desai has said, in Uttar Pradesh, with the Samajwadi Party and the BSP forming what seems to be an effective alliance. Maharashtra, it's very much more difficult to say. Congress virtually was reduced to just a couple of MPs in Maharashtra last time round. My sense is that the BJP and Shiv Sena will clearly retain the upper hand in Maharashtra.
All right, that is as far as the state of Maharashtra is concerned. But Lord Meghnad Desai, if I can come to you on it, how do you see rural India and urban India voting differently this time around? There is a propensity for urban India to sort of gravitate towards Prime Minister Modi, but farmer distress has been an issue that the BJP has been tackling repeatedly across states in the last 3 years.
I think it wouldn't be at all surprising if there were differential urban and rural trends. As you say, the BJP has always been particularly strong in the cities and the towns, and the issue of rural distress, I think, is going to determine a lot of votes in rural areas. So I would expect the BJP to perform significantly better in urban areas than in rural areas.
Lord Meghnad Desai, would you concur with what Mr. Andrew Whitehead is saying?
I think so, but we have to remember that the Modi government has done much more in rural areas by way of building rural housing, electrification, toilets, so on. And so although it doesn't really solve the problem of farmers' distress, people may realize that their lives have been improved much more in the last 5 years. So compared to the Vajpayee government, which had neglected rural areas, Narendra Modi's government has done quite a lot. So we have to see whether that makes any difference to the final vote, or people are still worried about farmers' distress, and that's what will take the vote to Congress.
All right, if I can ask you, gentlemen, at this stage to wager a guess, if I may, Mr. Andrew Whitehead, because this is Operation Hold as far as the ruling BJP is concerned, 56 out of the 72 seats that went to polling today, they had won it in the last election. Where would you peg BJP's number in this election? If I can ask you to hazard a guess.
Where do I think they'll be in terms of the 72 seats which have contested today?
Exactly.
I think I'd be rash to put a number on that, but I think they will win considerably fewer than the 56 seats that they won of these 72 last time round. As I say, in both Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, they face a much more formidable challenge than Congress. If you look, though, at the state election results in November, December, the share of the popular vote that BJP and Congress got in both Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh was almost identical. There wasn't a wave to one side or the other. I suspect the BJP will claw back some support compared to the state election results, but it would still mean that they will lose a significant number of seats in those states which they won 5 years ago.
All right. Lord Meghnad Desai, if I can ask you, away from Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh, will the BJP's aggressive campaigning in the state of Odisha reap rewards? And the same with, the high voter turnout in West Bengal. What does it mean? Will the BJP cause an upset to Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress?
I think Odisha is going to be a very interesting case because there is incumbent fatigue in Odisha, and Naveen Patnaik has lost quite some leading supporters like Jay Panda, who has gone and joined the BJP. So I think in Odisha it's very likely that the BJP will spring a surprise, and it's going to be a fairly closely balanced result when it finally comes. But I think Odisha will go the BJP way much more than it did before.
All right, then Lord Meghnad Desai and Mr. Andrew Whitehead, I'm going to thank you, both of you gentlemen, for taking time out to be with us here on this edition of India Election Watch. It's been a high-octane phase in which 72 seats have been up for grabs. We'll see what happens when